They told you the job was the cage. They said the salary was a trap. The 9 to 5 was a slow death. Your boss was stealing your life, one Monday morning at a time. And maybe, just maybe, you believed them, so you quit. Or you almost quit. Or you're sitting there right now, resignation letter half written, watching a guy on Instagram count cash in a Lamborghini whispering, "This could be you." I'm here to tell you something nobody in that influencer ecosystem will ever say out loud. For most people, quitting your job was the worst financial decision of their entire life. And the people who convinced you to do it, they got rich off your resignation. Let's go back to where this started. Around 2012, a book called The 4-Hour Workweek rewired an entire generation. The premise was seductive: escape the rat race, build passive income streams, sip cocktails on a beach while your laptop prints money. Tim Ferriss wasn't wrong about everything, but what happened next was the cultural equivalent of handing a flamethrower to a child. A new industry was born: the quit your job, industrial complex, YouTube channels, online courses, masterminds at $5,000 a seat, coaches who had never run a real business, teaching people how to run businesses. The message was always the same: your job is holding you back, and the data on who was actually getting rich. It wasn't the people quitting, it was the people selling the quit. Here's a number that should make you pause. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, roughly 20% of new businesses fail within the first year. By year 5, half are gone. By year 10, 65% have closed. These are businesses started by people with capital, experience, and support systems. Now ask yourself, how many people quit their jobs with none of those things? They had a dream, a laptop, and a credit card they hadn't maxed out yet. I want to talk about what nobody shows you in the highlight reel. I spent 3 months tracking down people who followed the quit your job advice from popular online creators. Not the success stories, those are the ones the creators put in their testimonials. I wanted to find the people who disappeared from comment sections, the ones who stopped posting updates 6 months in. What I found was grimmer than I expected. Take Marcus, 31 years old, left a $72,000 a year project management job in Atlanta because a YouTube guru told him dropshipping was the future. He spent $4,200 on a course, built a Shopify store, lost $11,000 in ad spend over 8 months. He's back at a job now, different company, lower title, $58,000 a year. He lost 2 years and the financial cushion he'd spent 5 years building. Or Priya. She left her nursing job, to become a social media coach after hitting 10,000 followers on Instagram. The coaching business made $14,000 in its first year. Sounded like progress until you realized she was making $78,000 as a nurse. She burned $64,000 in potential earnings to make $14,000 in actual earnings. That's not a pivot. That's a financial catastrophe dressed up in aesthetic branding. These aren't anomalies. These are patterns. And here's what makes it sinister. The gurus knew the math. They always know the math. When you look at how these online education businesses are structured, the course itself is almost never the real product. You are the product. Your aspiration is the product. They sell you a $997 course, then upsell you a $3,000 mastermind, then a $10,000 coaching package. The funnel has no floor. One creator I researched generated over $4 million in course revenue in a single year. His own businesses? Never publicly audited. No verifiable revenue figures. Just screenshots. Just testimonials from the tiny fraction who made it work. The business model depends on a simple psychological trick. They only need a 3% success rate to generate enough testimonials to keep selling to the other 97%. You were always the 97%. Let's talk about what quitting actually costs. Because nobody runs these numbers for you. If you're earning $60,000 a year with benefits, and let's be conservative, let's say your health insurance is worth $6,000, your 401k match is $3,000, your paid time off is worth $4,000, you're not making $60,000, you're making closer to $73,000 in total compensation. When you quit, you don't just lose the salary, you lose the benefits. You start paying for your own health insurance. You lose the compound interest on retirement contributions you stopped making. You lose the career progression, the promotions, the salary bumps, the professional network that opens the next door. 5 years of that? You're not looking at a $300,000 gap. Factor in compounding, lost equity, career setbacks, you could easily be looking at a $500,000 lifetime earnings deficit for the privilege of calling yourself an entrepreneur. And here's the cruelest part. Most of what you wanted, flexibility, autonomy, creative control, more money was achievable inside employment, through negotiation, through remote work arrangements, through strategic job hopping, through building skills that command premium rates, through investing the difference. Nobody sells you that story because there's no course to sell. The boring path doesn't make good content. The guy who maxed his 401k, negotiated a 20% raise, and quietly built a $200,000 brokerage account while keeping his job, he doesn't go viral. There's no transformation arc, no dramatic before and after, no beach photo with a laptop, but he's richer than 90% of the people who quit. Now look, I'm not here to tell you entrepreneurship is a lie. I'm not here to say nobody should ever quit their job. Some people absolutely should quit. If you have a validated business with paying customers, 6 to 12 months of runway, and a clear path to replacing your income, yes, go, jump, build. If you're being psychologically destroyed by your work environment and your mental health is collapsing, leave. No amount of money is worth that. If you have genuine in-demand skills in a market that will pay you as a freelancer or consultant, the math can absolutely work in your favor. But that's not who the gurus are talking to. They're not talking to prepared people. Prepared people don't need a $997 course to make a decision. They're talking to the frustrated, the underpaid, the burned out, the people who feel invisible in their cubicles and finally found a community that tells them they're special, they're different, they're destined for more. That feeling is real. The solution they're selling? It's a product. The most dangerous financial advice isn't obviously bad advice. It's emotionally true advice with financially devastating consequences. Bet on yourself sounds like courage. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just expensive. Here's what I actually believe after researching this for months. The question was never job or no job. The question is, what does your financial life actually look like? And what is the most intelligent path from here to where you want to be? For some people, that's staying employed and building aggressively on the side. Nights, weekends, no excuses, until the side income is undeniable. For others, it's transitioning into higher value work that pays more and demands less. For a few, it genuinely is starting a business, but on validated ground, not blind faith, what it's almost never is. Quit, figure it out, and trust the process. The people profiting off that advice already figured it out. They figured out that selling you the dream is more profitable than chasing it themselves. The job wasn't the cage, the course was. If this landed differently than you expected, good. Share it with someone who needs to hear it before they make the most expensive mistake of their financial life. And if you've already made that mistake, the comments are open. You're not alone, and you're not done.